Coach, we're going to get started with you.
Sure.
You hold the unique distinction of a dual title at Waynesburg. Along with being the head football coach, you also serve as the school's assistant provost for undergraduate learning experiences. Provide some insight into what responsibilities that position entails, and how do you feel about holding down two such demanding roles on your campus?
So first and foremost, entering year 17 as a coach, I've actually spent the last 8 or 9 years working in leadership and also academics. It just was never to the forefront when you're an assistant coach. But I've spent the last several years, the last 5 years, actually as an adjunct faculty member working at Wheeling University. I taught in their undergraduate and graduate school. I taught in the School of Exercise Science. I taught undergraduate courses such as sports management, diversity and inclusiveness, and athletic administration. Graduate-wise, I've taught sports leadership. I've taught sports industry. I've also worked in athletic administration. So it has always been there, and it's a passion of mine, just as football is a game that we all love. It's a game growing up that we play, we enjoy, we wanted to be around, but a big passion of mine is leadership. And so to actually have this dual role at Waynesburg and know that I can have an imprint not only in the athletic department, but also the landscape of our campus community is big for me. That role as the assistant provost, I hold leadership endeavors in which I work in the local community structure of Pittsburgh. So we work well with Urban Impact. We also work with Pittsburgh Promise. I do leadership seminars on campus to help the landscape of our students overall, not just our student athletes, understand what it's like to be a Waynesburg Jacket. And so to be able to do it, it is hard, it is demanding, but it's something that I love and it's a passion of mine, and being able to work with young men every single day in the realm of football and not show them just the X's and O's of the game, but show them and help inherit what leadership is. So when they graduate and they endeavor into their professional career, they endeavor into their local communities, they in turn will be a spouse, they in turn will be a father. It's big for us, and that's what we stand for at Waynesburg.
You're a proud Waynesburg graduate. You were an All-American defensive lineman during your playing days. What does it mean to you to take charge of this program? And what are your plans for returning Waynesburg to the upper tier of the PAC?
So first and foremost, Waynesburg has helped make me the individual that I am today. So when I had the opportunity and the privilege to take on this newfound assignment, it was a blessing in disguise. So a lot of individuals may not know, yes, I did attend Waynesburg undergrad and graduate school. My wife also attended Waynesburg. And so to be able to go back and take over a program that has helped shape me into the man that I am today, both athletically and both as a man, but be able to share that with my spouse, be able to let our kids, which I have 4 kids, grow up within the landscape of our community, it's an honor and a privilege to be here. So for myself to be able to take over this program and be able to coach young men like Jesse every single day, it's special. In regards to the second linear part of that question, getting it back to prominence, my staff and I know and understand that it will be a day-by-day process. We understand that it's not going to happen overnight. I know there's several days where I'm in the office, whether I'm making recruitment calls, whether I'm doing administrative work, that I have to sit back and I have it written on my board, things will not change overnight. But with that said, I'm excited for the process. I love the process. It's a process that our coaching staff, our young men, my family, the support of our administration, our president, our athletic director, they all understand that it's not going to happen overnight, but we're going to change it together as one Jacket program.
You've spent much of your time as a collegiate football coach working on the defensive side of the football. Can you describe how you envision this Waynesburg defense looking after you and your staff have had a chance to build it up through recruiting, training, coaching. What should we be expecting out of the Waynesburg defense?
So first of all, without going into schemes, to tell you a little bit, I am a defensive guy, but as football coaches, you're just a football coach. You understand the offensive side of the ball, the special team side of the ball. For myself, the defensive side of the ball. Defensively, we will be fun and exciting to watch. We will be a multiple front. We will be gap-oriented. We will be a sound unit. But we're just going to go out and just play football. In regards to the recruiting trail, if you can watch our program ever since January the 4th, which was my first day on campus, recruiting has been going extremely well, right? So we're bringing in 62 student athletes this fall. That doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of hard work. But trust me that the makeup of our team, the makeup of our defense will be with the young men that's already currently within our infrastructure. When I look at individuals up front on the defensive line with Hitler, Sam Hamilton, Messenger, linebacker-wise, Tom Hannock. When I look at the defensive backfield, you have Jesse Kane. You also have James Davis. You also have Tyson. You also have Javion, young men that have already played. Our infrastructure are already within the current concepts of our team. We're just going to fine-tune it. We're going to learn. It's not going to be an easy process. I will, and my staff will go through the infrastructure of what we're trying to get them to understand, but we'll do it day by day together.
Coach, my last question for you is this, and this is pretty broad. What are your goals for this first season? What goals, expectations, what are you looking forward to the most?
Well, obviously the goal is to be competitive week in and week out. As we stated earlier, we are going to step into every contest with the notion that, honestly, there's great teams represented in the PAC. But one of the biggest things that we're going to step into each and every game with is nameless opponents. We're not worried about the other teams. We're not worried about what they're doing. We're worried about ourselves. We're worried about our own locker room. We're going to be competitive. But I can let you know that our goal is for me to help raise this program and insert a sense of confidence, insert a sense of leadership, insert a sense of what the holistic approach of being a student athlete is, and that's being competitive on the field, being an active leader within our campus and local community, and working towards their ultimate pivotal goal of being a professional. Because at the end of the day, football has to stop. We're going to learn to be men together. That's my goal.
Coach, good talking with you. I look forward to more. Jesse, a few questions for you. Unfortunately, your Waynesburg playing career has been recently marred by injury troubles. How's your recovery been this offseason, and how do you feel as you prepare for camp?
So, yeah, injuries, it's just part of the game. I mean, there's no excuses for it. It happens. But there's two aspects to injuries. There's a mental aspect, and mentally, I feel like to decide to come back after an injury that, coming into my senior year, I could just give it up and focus on my career. You got to be fully dedicated. You can't have to, PT, injury recovery. So I feel like I'm mentally stronger than the opponents in that sense of deciding this is it. This is what I want to do. Whether I got one snap or 1,000 more snaps, I'm going to make that snap the best I can. And then there's the physical aspect of it too. And physically, this is the best shape I've been in my life. That's thanks to the coaching staff, specifically Coach Hoke, our new strength and conditioning coach, and our trainers. And the guys, they've bought in. There's this new feeling about Waynesburg, and they've bought into the leadership culture. The leadership culture is going to give back to them. So I can't wait for this season.
Jesse, how's your interaction been? Coach Coleman said that he started on campus January 4th. How's your interactions been with Coach Coleman, and what are your thoughts on playing for him as your head coach as you head into your senior season?
So one word is exceptional. That's how I describe Coach Coleman in every aspect. His resume, he told you a little bit about it. It's really impressive as one of his players to hear all that stuff, how he was as an athlete and a coach. I remember our very first day on the job, he had a meeting with all of us in the spring. There was actually a period in the spring where we didn't have a coach, so we didn't know what direction we were going in, but it just shows how dedicated the team was because some of us leaders stepped up and we were doing our workouts and different programs. But first day on the job, Coach Coleman came in and he shared his goals and aspirations with the team. And he left it up to us whether we would buy in and do it or not. And I fully believe that the guys have bought in this year, and we're hungry this year, so we have something to prove.
We talked with Coach a little bit about defense, and last year's Waynesburg defense was pretty young in several spots. But there were some definite flashes of success with that defense last year. Give us a brief look at how you see the defensive unit shaping up for 2022.
The defense was definitely young last year. A lot of that's due to injuries, myself, and there's Caleb Stevens in the D-line. But, I mean, there's opportunity for Sam Hamilton to step up. James Davis took my spot. Hopefully I'll take it back this year. But, James Davis, honorable PAC mention. So they got a lot of experience. That's something you can't teach as a coach. You can only get that from playing. And they saw how fast the game is, how mentally you have to be involved, a whole lot more than high school ball. And, I compare it to like maturity and age. Just because someone's older doesn't mean they're more mature. So I'd take those guys over anyone else, whether it's a senior that's first snap on the field or, they're going to be sophomores getting their, second season on the field. So it's going to be also a good clash of the vets and the younger guys, the guys coming back from injuries like myself. And hopefully I can teach them a thing or two, and maybe they can teach me something. So I'm excited.
Jesse, my final question for you is this. You don't play offense, but you've faced many of Waynesburg's top contributors in practice. Tyler Raines, quarterback. Justin Flack, running back. Dakota Romantino, wide receiver. How do you see that side of the ball coming together before heading into week 1 this year?
Next question, please. I don't talk about all. No, but I will talk about those guys because those guys are exceptional. I've even had the opportunity to work with them over this offseason. As you mentioned, Dakota Romantino. We got a couple one-on-ones in. He's looking great this year. Andrew Ellerick and Chase Espin are other guys on offense to watch out for. The transformation has been real this summer. But like I said, we're hungry because some of those guys, if not all of them, missed some time last year because of injuries. No excuses, but they're hungry this year, and we're ready to get after it. And there's going to be a lot of surprises, and there's nothing more dangerous than a surprise. So be ready.
Thanks, Jesse. Great job. Waynesburg is scheduled to get its season underway Saturday, September 3rd at Gallaudet University. Waynesburg.